Hello everyone, welcome to this latest video for YouTube from LCG. I'm talking about gold today, and there has been a huge breakout. This is potentially a very big moment that a lot of gold bugs have been waiting for. It's a breakout above the 1370 level. I'll talk more specifically about the chart levels in just a moment, but first off, just wanted to talk about some of the causes of this. It's pretty much down to central banks and specifically the Fed and what their new policies mean for the dollar. So the dollar's been dropping, so the euro's been rallying, the British pound's been rallying, and gold has been rallying, all against the dollar. And so let me just run down quickly what I think is important about what's changed from the Federal Reserve and what that means for interest rates in the US. The most important thing is that 8 of the participants at the meeting project a cut in interest rates in the US in 2019, and 7 of those 8 expect 2 cuts, so 50 basis points worth of cuts. So either one large cut or two normal size cuts, if you like. So this is this is the big game-changing moment that everyone's been waiting for. At the start of the year, many of the top banks were expecting four rate hikes in 2019, and here we are with a rate cut apparently on the horizon. The statement downgraded growth characterization to moderate from solid, so they're less confident in the economy now, but they did keep the growth projections the same. Headline inflation for 2019, that's moved down 0.3 to 1.5%, down by one. That's for 2019, and by 1/10 for 2020 to 1.9%. So for the next 2 years, inflation will still be below their 2% target. So expecting moderating growth and lower inflation. And they've actually forecasted they'll be cutting rates, and they've dropped the important patient language that they use to imply patience before the next rate hike, and now discussing uncertainties, specifically the trade war and this persistently low inflation. So it looks like they're going to cut interest rates in the US, and they have more room to do so than other nations around the world, because obviously they've just been hiking interest rates. So for the time being, it's all quite bearish for the dollar, and it's good for gold. Let me push over to the actual chart here. So you can see behind me, this is the daily candlestick chart. This is the huge candle that we had yesterday, and you can see it broke above that short-term level. This longer-term tough resistance that came in around between 1360 and 1370, depending on the prices that you're using. But you can see we're up around $100 in gold in just the last week. So obviously momentum really picking up to the upside here. If we scroll out to a weekly chart. My apologies. This is the weekly chart, so I'm starting on the longer time frame. So up around $100 in the last month, I should say. And if we pull back a little bit, which I think is what I was thinking of, what's interesting here, and even though I prefer horizontal levels to trend lines, if you look at this particular trend line through these highs, maybe make it look at something a bit like that, and then we zoom out again. I mean, this is something we've been talking about for a while. We talked about it when it was up at these levels here. We were looking for the break, but we had that big soft patch towards the end of last year. We rallied back up again, we pulled back, and then we talked about it again at this level, dropped back, but not too far, and we've broken up through this trend line at last. Of course, it could be a false break. We could fail around 1400, which is the big round number we're now approaching. But based on this trend line, which is a long-term trend line, which hold a lot more validity than the short-term trend lines, which has 4 or 5 tests, depending on how you're drawing this. This looks solid, this breakout. It looks like gold has based out over a number of years and is now ready to push out to the top side significantly, because interest rates are about to go down again in the US, and gold does well in a low interest rate environment and an environment in which the dollar is going down. Obviously, goes without saying that each bit of gold is just inherently worth more if the value of what it's based in is going down, i.e. the dollar. So that's it. Potentially a huge moment in gold here. Best not to get carried away, but I think at least in the short term, you know, if we jump down to this 4-hour chart, for example, you can see the momentum that we've had recently. We want to see how it behaves. Presumably it's going to stall out somewhere around 1400, and we want to look to see if it can hold above 1370 is the round number that I have in mind. If we can hold above there for a day or so, then we've probably got the evidence that this little swing low and this swing low down here are going to hold, and that we get more upside from here. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Good luck for trading for the rest of the day.